When it comes to fast food burgers, Five Guys is a fan favorite. Founded in 1986, this iconic chain is named after founders Jerry and Janie Murrell's 5 sons. What started off as a small family project slowly turned into one of the fastest-growing franchises in the country. Now there are almost 1,700 Five Guys locations across America, Canada, the UK, Europe, and the Middle East, with 1,500 more in development. Despite the fact that the brand doesn't advertise or deliver, they have still developed a cult following and were named America's favorite burger chain in 2017, according to an annual Harris poll. Known for their mouth-wateringly juicy burgers and their heaping French fry servings, it's rumored that there are over 250,000 ways to order a burger at this build-to-order chain. Even former President Barack Obama has a customized burger order that features lettuce, tomato, jalapenos, and mustard. Thanks for the burger tip, Obama. As if that wasn't enough, Five Guys has always prided themselves on the freshness of their food. Unlike many other fast food giants, the owners of this Virginia-based chain are against installing freezers in any location. It reportedly takes 3 hours every morning to open each Five Guys restaurant in order to ensure that freshly prepared food is ready for their devoted customers. However, this hasn't stopped people from questioning the burger chain's food preparation methods, especially when it comes to their fries. TikTok user Outbad Fast Food recently posted a video attempting to blow the whistle on the burger chain's process of cooking French fries. The video is filmed inside a Five Guys kitchen, implying that the TikTok user is also an employee of the popular chain.
Part 1 of exposing Five Guys. Do not eat the fries, they leave them in the sink overnight. They have a bad smell.
The viral post received overwhelming backlash in the comments section, with users denying that there was anything wrong with the way the burger chain cooks its fries. Comments ranged from "someone doesn't know how French fries are made" to "the bad smell is just starch from the potatoes." But truth be told, Five Guys takes their French fries just as seriously as their burgers. Chad Murrell, one of the founder's sons, said in an interview with Food Republic, "They're our passion. They are the hardest thing we have to do, but people think that it's the easiest. If you don't do them right, they're still kinda good and people don't complain, but that doesn't cut it with us."
And anything less than first place will not be tolerated. In fact, it'll be punished.
Murrell, who refers to the fry cooks as mad scientists, also confirms the very good reasoning behind the Five Guys French fry water soaking process. You need to blanch the fries to rinse the starch off of them, or else the outside will burn up before the inside cooks. In the attempted takedown video on TikTok by Outbad Fast Food, the original poster expressed concern over letting the potatoes soak overnight and the smell they emit. But that's actually a totally normal part of the process. According to the Pioneer Woman, you can let potatoes soak overnight, and at the very least, they definitely need at least an hour in water before frying. This is because water helps get rid of the potatoes' starchiness. In another TikTok video, a Five Guys employee, Maze the Great, explains and shows just how the chain makes their fries. The whole spuds are thoroughly washed and cleaned before they are placed in a press, which essentially pushes the whole potatoes through blades to cut them into the shape of fries. Once the potatoes are the right shape and a uniform size for even cooking, the individual fries are placed in a large bucket. Five Guys employees then fill the bucket up to the top with water to let the fries soak. When you soak potatoes or raw fries in water to draw out the starch, it ultimately results in crisper fries, according to the Pioneer Woman. However, Fine Cooking explains that soaking potatoes to remove the starch also helps them brown better. So, Five Guys' methods are totally sound when it comes to soaking their fries before frying them up. It simply adds to the overall look and taste that makes them so crave-worthy.
Let's be frank, the hot dogs at your local Five Guys aren't quite as famous as its burgers, but they're still worth ordering from time to time. So what's the real deal with these tasty delights? Here's everything you need to know about Five Guys hot dogs. If you're planning to order a Five Guys hot dog, we strongly recommend skipping the cheese. You see, the chain uses American cheese, the cheese of quick afternoon snacks. Honestly, those highly artificial orange rectangles can hardly be classified as real cheese.
Kraft Singles taste great because they're made from 5 ounces of milk. How do they do that?
They take the slice and make it into a rocket.
We strongly suggest kicking that unfortunate cheese slice to the curb and simply ordering your hot dog with a tasteful squiggle of mustard. You'll be glad you did. When compared to hot dogs from other fast food chains, Five Guys reportedly has the hot dog to beat. A Business Insider reporter tried fully loaded hot dogs from a number of esteemed spots and wrote that, "Five Guys cheesy bacon dog impressed me with its exceptionally flavorful hot dog base and its crispy bacon topping, although I wasn't as much a fan of the cheese." And when you order a fully loaded Five Guys hot dog, you can get over a dozen tasty toppings to choose from. Five Guys just missed the top spot after Costco's Franks were added to the mix, since Costco's hot dogs had the best taste to price value. Five Guys menu boasts a kosher hot dog, but what that actually means is rather complicated. The hot dogs are all beef, and that meat is indeed premium kosher beef from Hebrew National, a supplier of delicious kosher dogs.
Recently I converted to Hebrew National Kosher hot dogs. Improper? Not at all.
That absolutely qualifies the meat in and of itself as kosher. While kosher can mean different things to different observant Jewish people, one key definition across the board is that the hot dogs are made of beef and not pork, which is universally recognized as not kosher. That said, Five Guys kosher-style hot dogs are prepared with the same utensils and on the same grill used to cook Five Guys pork products, including bacon. Sometimes the supposedly kosher-style hot dogs are even topped with bacon, which most definitely isn't kosher. Kosher beef also can't be served with milk due to a religious law that prevents the consumption of meat and milk, but Five Guys serves up its Franks with those aforementioned cheese slices. Milkshakes too. Interestingly, writer Jonathan Turley points out that Five Guys is breaking the law in Washington state by advertising its hot dogs as kosher. While Five Guys probably won't get into any trouble for this anytime soon, the chain might want to reconsider its advertising strategy somewhere down the line. If you suspect these fast food hot dogs are unhealthy, you just hit the pig on the snout. The classic Five Guys kosher hot dog contains 520 calories and 35 grams of fat, not to mention 1,130 milligrams of sodium. In case you don't know, that's quite a lot of salt. And don't even get us started on Five Guys Bacon Cheese Dog, which contains 670 calories, 48 grams of fat, and 1,700 milligrams of sodium. If you're looking for a somewhat healthier option, we recommend ditching the bun altogether. According to the Food Network, a bunless Five Guys hot dog only contains 285 calories, 26 grams of fat, and 800 milligrams of sodium. Much better. Five Guys hot dogs don't quite hold up when compared to Chicago hot dogs. In fact, no fast food hot dog can really quite hold up to a tasty hot dog bought on a Chicago street corner.
This is the hot dog capital of the world with more vendors than McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's combined.
But Five Guys does serve hot dogs in the greater Chicago area, and they're still pretty popular there. According to the Chicago Tribune, the hot dogs are a sacrilege to Chicago sensibilities. But this being Oak Park with hot dog scofflaws, outside prosecutorial jurisdiction, I can say these are fantastic. An all-beef Hebrew National dog, split in half and seared to a crispy exterior, is topped with brittle, crunchy bacon and sliced Kraft American singles. Five Guys hot dog isn't exactly the greatest deal around. In 2016, a Five Guys hot dog would put you back $5. That's rather pricey for a fast food dog. In comparison, Burger King's hot dogs cost less than $3, and Shake Shack's cost just $3.59. Checkers hot dogs are significantly cheaper, but in our opinion, they're also significantly worse. If you ask us, Five Guys have the most expensive hot dogs, but also the tastiest. But if you want more bang for your buck, Costco's hot dog combos only cost $1.50, and they're really quite tasty. Every July, Five Guys observes National Hot Dog Day, a day that celebrates the humble Frank.
It was established back in 1991 to coincide with a hot dog lunch on Capitol Hill.
In 2018, Five Guys posted a tweet to honor this yummiest of days, writing, "We serve hot dogs." Indeed, they most certainly do. The burgers at Five Guys might be the star of the show, but let's face it, their French fries are a fantastic supporting act. French fries are a tough racket in the fast food industry, but Five Guys have nonetheless emerged well ahead of the pack, and according to some, they're the most popular fries around today. When you walk into any Five Guys, you'll notice right away that huge bags of potatoes are stacked everywhere. Those bags of potatoes aren't a fast food prop either. They're just the fries that haven't yet reached their final form. Whereas most fast food restaurants receive their fries already sliced and frozen, that's never the case with Five Guys. Five Guys get all of their potatoes from northern Idaho, and they slice and fry them up fresh in each restaurant. Using the so-called monster cutter, employees are able to quickly turn each potato into sliced fries, which are then pre-fried. The fries then get a mush test to determine if they've been undercooked. If everything checks out, the fries go back in the deep fryer for around 2.5 minutes.
If you see, there's a slight change in color, they're firm on the outside, and the goal is to have a baked potato inside.
Every order of Five Guys fries also gets an extra topper of more fries, leaving a bonus pile at the bottom of each customer's bag. But there's obviously one major consequence to all this. All those fries equal a lot of calories. Most people probably won't exactly assume that the fries from Five Guys are good for them, but even then, the actual statistics can come as a bit of a shock. A small serving of Five Guys fries contains 530 calories, while the large size contains an incredible 1,310 calories. If you were going to burn off all those calories from a small order of Five Guys fries, you would need to walk for around 143 minutes. But hey, a little bit of exercise is a small price to pay for perfection, right?
No.
Actually, one of the best parts about getting an order of Five Guys fries is that topper of French fries waiting for you in the bag. All those extra fries in the bag make it feel like somehow you're getting a bonus from Five Guys just for being your awesome self. But the truth is that Five Guys knows exactly what they're doing, and you're actually not getting more spud than you paid for. One former Five Guys employee told Pop Sugar that the topper is accounted for in the item's price. The employee confessed, "When you order a small fry, you are paying for all of the fries that go into the bag. That extra scoop is kind of an illusion." They told us during training that it's to make customers think they're getting a big bargain. And you can ask for the cup with no topper if you want. While the topper may be a free fry illusion, it's certainly a smart marketing tactic that encourages customers to think of Five Guys as a generous chain, despite not actually offering anything extra. So here's the real question. What about upgrades? Well, while the fries at Five Guys are already incredibly good by themselves, it doesn't hurt to try to give them a little kick. If you really want to push the limits of what a fry can handle, there are numerous food hacks out there that can be applied to your Five Guys fry order. The first one is pretty simple. You can get a crispier order of French fries if you simply say that you'd like your fries extra well done, meaning no limp, soggy fries at the bottom of your bag.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!
A Five Guys employee on Reddit also recommends trying them confetti style. This simply involves mixing barbecue sauce and mayo and sprinkling in some Cajun seasoning. The user wrote, "Dump your fries in a bag, dump the sauce in, and shake it up. They come out delicious, lightly coated and speckled with Cajun. You won't get that at McDonald's."
Everyone and their mother loves Five Guys, but what really sets Five Guys apart from the pack are its seemingly limitless toppings. In truth, there are only 15, all of them deliciously free. We've tried to clarify a few of the many possibilities by providing the lowdown on Five Guys toppings. For those too lazy or famished to wade through 250,000 possible topping combos themselves, Five Guys fans are eager to share some delicious shortcuts. On Serious Eats, pungent suggestions come from Love to Cook, who prefers lettuce, mushrooms, grilled, and raw onions, sometimes opting for, quote, double raw onion plus the grilled onion. Quara's most upvoted suggestion comes courtesy of a former Five Guys employee who swears you can't go wrong with ketchup. A1, lettuce, pickle, grilled jalapenos, and extra cheese. Twitter user Corey O'Donnell is a fan of 2 extra patties, extra cheese, extra bacon, grilled mushrooms, grilled onions, pickles, barbecue sauce, and to top it off, a handful of fries. Then there's Thrillist's reviewer who swears by mixing barbecue sauce and mayo with acidic pickles and heat-radiating jalapenos to create, quote, a pretty damn glorious burger. Finally, back in his White House days, Barack Obama was known to hit up Five Guys. Typically classy yet understated, his cheeseburger topped with lettuce, tomato, jalapeno, and mustard became known unofficially as the presidential.
Let me get the jalapenos and tomatoes, mustard.
If you think Five Guys employees just randomly toss the toppings onto a bun, think again. There's a method to the mess. In an interview with Monsoon Martin, former Five Guys PR manager, Molly Catalano describes the assembly of the burgers. The logistics were perfected by the Five Guys themselves, founder Jerry Morrell and his 5 sons, long before they ever opened their first location. The burgers are designed to optimize flavor combinations while maximizing the speed of each burger's assembly. In 2019, the Manchester Evening News was treated to a behind-the-scenes glimpse into Five Guys' stacking process. Employees start by layering the bottom bun with hot stuff such as grilled mushrooms, onions, green peppers, and jalapenos, creating a warm and welcoming bed for the well-cooked hamburger patty. On the top bun, they slather the cooler likes of mayo, relish, pickles, and lettuce. Tomato slices are always the final ingredient to be stacked onto the top bun. Once everything's stacked up in perfect order, the completed burger is delicately wrapped in foil, ensuring minimal squishability and maximum deliciousness. While any Five Guys toppings can be grilled, some lend themselves better to the griddle than others. On Ranker's classification of favorite Five Guys toppings, Grilled onions came in second after cheese, far ahead of raw onions in 10th place. Although Thrillist reviewer Kevin Alexander throws some culinary shade on Five Guys' onion grilling technique, noting a tendency to undercook that prevents proper caramelization. Five Guys fanatics, such as Reddit user KH27 and Twitter user Corey O'Donnell, love themselves some grilled onions. Caramelization be damned. Grilled mushrooms are ranked 8th by Ranker, while former Five Guys employee Addison Stanford highly endorses grilled peppers. He also claims the heat causes the flavors to pop. Stanford's observations are backed up by Grill's Zone, which explains how grilling activates vegetables' natural sugars. Also, Beginner Grilling points out that grilling retains more nutrients than other forms of cooking. One of Five Guys' many claims to fast food fame is that, unlike many of its rivals, who resort to frozen produce, almost all of its ingredients are fresh. Five Guys' fresh onions, peppers, tomatoes, and lettuce are all cut open, sliced, and diced on the very day you order them.
These cost about 5 times what you're going to get in a normal restaurant. And the reason for that is the quality. Onions chopped fresh every day.
The exception to Five Guys' freshness rule is Five Guys' mushrooms. As Delish points out, mushrooms are one of the very few Five Guys items that are kept in a state of chill by being stored in coolers. In an interview with Trend Chaser, Five Guys employees admitted to coming across moldy mushrooms in bags, an unappetizing occurrence that can take place when naturally moist raw mushrooms aren't completely or properly frozen. Mushroom experts recommend steaming or sautéing mushrooms prior to freezing. The consumer site I Was Poisoned is full of plenty of reported food poisoning incidents involving Five Guys burgers, as well as some involving mushrooms in general. Fortunately, to date, Five Guys' mushrooms haven't apparently wreaked havoc on any diner's digestive systems. When Five Guys first started out in 1986, founding father Jerry Morrell claims he and his sons sampled 16 different creamy possibilities before selecting the one. When the company later stopped producing this prized mayo, the guys decided to privately label their own. Today, Five Guys' mayo is made for them exclusively by Heinz and is customized to have the ideal level of creaminess and taste for their burgers. As a Five Guys employee claims, the house mayo's extra creaminess comes with a hidden cost, a whopping high calorie count. It comes in at 756 calories per 100 grams, compared to an industry average of 500 to 600 calories. The employee wrote, "Very unhealthy, yes, but the FG mayo is another level of goodness, and I could eat it with a spoon." Mashed points out that Five Guys' mayo is the most caloric of all 6 sauce toppings offered by the fast food chain. But at least the sodium level is relatively low. There are kosher pickles, and then there are kosher pickles. Generally, kosher, Hebrew for fit, as in fit for consumption, refers to an edible item that meets the standards of Jewish dietary laws. Manufactured foods can be certified kosher by a rabbi or certification agency. Resistant to spoilage, pickles were a dietary staple of Eastern European Jews, spicing up an otherwise bland diet of bread and potatoes. When Jews began migrating to New York City in the late 1800s, pickles came too. In the New World, Jews marinated cucumbers in barrels of salty brine, spiked with garlic and dill. Due to their unique flavor, they became known as kosher dill pickles. While not all kosher dills are actually certifiably kosher, those made by Mount Olive and used by Five Guys are. Mount Olive's pickles and relishes are certified by the Orthodox Union, the world's largest kosher certification agency. This helps explain why, to some customers, biting into a Five Guys burger dressed in pickles and/or relish is a sacred experience. Slathering a burger or hot dog with ketchup, mustard, and relish covers all the fundamentals of flavor and color. That makes it more than a little surprising that insiders, i.e. Five Guys employees, have gone on the digital record with warnings against this holy trinity of condiments. In a 2016 Trend Chaser report, employees revealed that the grossest thing in the restaurant is that ketchup and mustard containers have been known to be breeding grounds for germs and grime.
Whoa, easy there, Greg.
That wasn't me. That was the ketchup bottle.
Even though staff reportedly refill these containers on a daily basis with Heinz ketchup and mustard, they don't always clean them out. Over time, germs and even mold can collect, potentially merging with fresh condiments. Another behind-the-counter profile, published by SX Live, featured an insider warning to steer clear of the relish. Five Guys' least popular topping, the shunned relish, supposedly sits around uselessly for up to 3 days before being replenished. Apparently, relish neglect is a culinary phenomenon. Leaving out open jars of the condiment is at best messy, and at worst, an invitation to contamination. In burger world, there's a lively debate as to whether tomatoes enhance or destroy the enjoyment of one's burger. The anti-tomato squad includes the Guardian food writer Felicity Cloak, who accuses tomatoes of being superfluous and contributing to bun sogginess. Eater adds that slathering your burger with more worthy and pungent condiments overwhelms tomatoes' already weak flavor. In Tomatoes Corner are supporters such as Texas Chicken and Burgers, which sees sliced tomatoes as essential players in the burger game, adding crucial tang, zest, and brightness that interacts with the smoky umami of grilled beef. Granted, a lot depends on the quality of the tomatoes. Five Guys doesn't use certified organic or antibiotic-free items. However, it invests in fresh, high-quality produce, including top-notch tomatoes. Five Guys is so pro-tomato that not even an epic catastrophe can prevent customers from receiving 2 slices. In an Inc. interview, Jerry Morrell recalls a hurricane that devastated Florida's tomato crop, causing prices to soar from $17 to $50 a case. When some franchisees told Morrell they no longer could afford the fruit, Morrell suggested using only 1 tomato slice. In doing so, he incurred the wrath of his sons, partners, who declared it should be 2, always. The same arguments for the banishment of tomatoes also regularly apply to lettuce. The Guardian's burger experts claim that flavorless iceberg lettuce undermines the burger experience by wilting upon contact with freshly seared beef. More philosophical, Eater adheres to the proverb, life is short. You can have a salad tomorrow. However, The New Yorker's Helen Rossner argues that the all-American lettuce is far from flavorless, and it remains crunchy under the most extreme conditions, including, quote, the steamy, ketchupy confines of a hamburger bun. Five Guys is definitely on the pro-iceberg bandwagon. To ensure full flavors and maximum crunch, it purchases fresh, whole heads of iceberg. As a result, lettuce is ranked as Five Guys' 3rd favorite topping. It also plays a starring role in one of the most popular items on its secret menu, the lettuce wrap, in which a no-buns burger is sandwiched between 2 crunchy leaves, with 0 carbs and almost 0 calories. For those who like their burgers to pack some heat, Five Guys offers 3 spicy toppings. On the mild end of the hotness scale is the barbecue sauce. Five Guys uses Cattlemen's classic barbecue sauce, described on the Meat Wave as having bold, quote, in-your-face flavors. The dominant zest of tomato and Zinga vinegar are tempered by smokiness and mellow sweetness, courtesy of molasses and corn syrup. Mustard Bran supplies the heat. Its hot sauce packs more fire. Five Guys uses Frank's Red Hot Original, which earned a place in the hot sauce pantheon in 1964. Frank's Original is made with aged peppers, which, according to Pepper Scale, generate 30,000 to 50,000 Scoville heat units. That's hot. Rounding out the torrid trio are jalapeno peppers. While the Mexican peppers get a rep for being hellishly hot, as Pepper Scale points out, its Scoville heat unit range of 2,500 to 8,000 is lower than that of the world's hottest peppers. They're ideal if you like a burger with some kick, but want to avoid third-degree mouth burns. Five Guys' A1 steak sauce is arguably the topping with the most pedigree. It was invented in the late 1820s by Henderson William Brand, cooked to England's King George IV. Legend says the king himself not only approved of the sauce, but gave it the royal equivalent of a thumbs up. Brand commercialized the sauce, which enjoyed success throughout the UK and later in the New World, where it's currently owned and manufactured by Kraft Heinz. While some ingredients have been tweaked over time, Brand's original, fit for a monarch sauce, prominently featured raisin paste. Additional and more recent sweetness comes from all-American corn syrup and crushed orange puree. Vinegar adds a shot of acidity. Further upping the acidity are tomatoes. Interestingly, all tomatoes, including the beefsteak variety offered as a Five Guys topping, possess glutamic acid response for beef's meaty intensity, perhaps explaining why A1 is so in sync with the burgers it tops. Reddit is chock full of Five Guys employees sharing, quote, tasty tricks to try out. Examples include a simple barbecue mayo, which is 1/3 mayo and 2/3 barbecue sauce, and a more ambitious honey mustard, made with equal parts mayo, mustard, and barbecue sauce. But what really seems to get hackers' creative juices flowing is attempting to recreate knockoffs of famous rivals' specialties out of Five Guy toppings. Thrillist enlisted Food Network star-winning chef Justin Warner to test drive a few options. The results included the In-N-Out Double Double, animal-style knockoff in which Five Guys mayo, relish, and ketchup are mixed together to pass as In-N-Out's secret spread. As a Five Guys manager confessed to Kent Live, "If you get creative, you can make just about anything."
Free peanuts, free toppings, and massive fry portions. There's a lot to love about Five Guys, but is the company really as good as it makes itself out to be? You won't believe the things Five Guys has tried to make us believe. Perhaps Jerry Morrell should have thought twice before naming his restaurant after the number of people in his family business who happen to have a Y chromosome in their genetic makeup. Why? Because families change and grow. Five Guys used to represent Morrell and his 4 sons, Jim, Matt, Chad, and Ben. The name suited the growing restaurant quite well, or at least it did until little Tyler showed up. His appearance turned the Five Guys into 6.
Run a business with your family is got tremendous advantages if they all get into it.
Could Five Guys really change their name to Six Guys Burgers and Fries? If they did, it would be like Burger King switching over to Burger Prince, or Habit Burger Grill becoming Hamburger Choices. Six Guys arguably wouldn't garner as much attention as the more catchy Five Guys Burgers and Fries. At any rate, Morrell can claim that it's all about his 5 sons now, even if that's not what he initially meant. If you're an adventurous Five Guys fan and you're in the know thanks to some savvy Googling, then you too can be one of the special few to take advantage of the burger joint's secret menu. Wait, secret menu? Really? Yep, like so many other fast food chains, Five Guys has one, and you're really missing out if you're not investigating this side of the foodie world. You could turn regular fries into nacho-style fries, for one. If you're a vegetarian, they can do a riff on an old-fashioned BLT, but instead of bacon, just ask employees to use grilled mushrooms instead. With the Five Guys secret menu, the possibilities are nearly endless. Cheers to that. Now, it's sort of true that Five Guys does not advertise, but it's not that they don't have the funding for it. Instead, it's more that they want to stay true to their roots and let the food and experience do the talking.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
In an interview with Retail and Hospitality Hub, Five Guys Senior Director of Global Logistics Jason Lee confirms the chain's refusal to engage in standard advertising. He said, "We don't do any advertising, promotions, limited time offers, or traditional marketing. We have total faith that the product markets itself." However, many argue that this is itself a form of advertising. One former employee on Quora takes it a step further by divulging the following ad strategy implemented by Five Guys, that greasy brown paper bag. They said, a big thing to Five Guys was word-of-mouth advertisement. Paper bags are a big part of word-of-mouth advertising. That greasy brown paper bag sans logo is meant to set Five Guys apart from other fast casual dining establishments. One employee wrote, "One of the most fascinating things I ever learned about Five Guys was their advertising techniques. They also don't use a bag with their logo on it because they feel like they don't have to." Isn't it sweet that Five Guys is so invested in curbing your hunger? While you're forced to wait the practically unbearable stretch of 10 minutes as your order is being prepared, you can at least snack on handy bins of peanuts, though you'll have to shell them yourself. It seems like they've thought of everything, but are these complimentary legumes really just because Five Guys is worried you might experience tummy grumbles? Maybe, but according to a former employee who spilled the peanuts on Reddit, those treats are actually meant for the comfort of the employees. No one likes a nosy Nancy staring them down while they're trying to properly prepare fast food. But if looky-loo customers are distracted by the free snacks all around them, employees can hopefully work in peace.
Reckon what you like to eat in there?
Well, the French fries are pretty good.
If you're a fry lover, chances are you've been to Five Guys. That's because the portions of fried potatoes they give you are notoriously ginormous. It's more like a pile of fries and not a single-sized serving. Instead, those fries routinely spill out of their serving cups, creating that signature greasy bag. So the following information might crush your French fry-loving heart, but Five Guys workers have spilled the real truth. The larger-than-life fry count is actually just an illusion. According to a former employee writing on Reddit, those who are in charge of the fry station are instructed to overfill the fries on purpose. This topper method means that you see a bunch of fries going into the bag and spilling out of the serving cup, but it's hardly breaking the bank for Five Guys, as noted by Pop Sugar. In short, the cup is just a gimmick to make it look like you're getting more bang for your buck. Yes, it's still a lot of fries, but not nearly as much as you think. Nothing in life is free. Neither are fast food toppings, even at Five Guys. Restaurant owners go to great lengths to calculate the cost of food, labor, and other important factors when operating a dining establishment. It's worth remembering that condiments, in general, aren't too expensive, though they could seemingly break the bank at Five Guys. That's because the chain is dedicated to using premium ingredients like fresh burger meat, according to Insider. But free still isn't exactly right when we're talking about Five Guys toppings. That's because things like those apparent freebies are calculated into the overall price of the food. They're just labeled free because it sounds good. People like a good deal, it makes customers feel special, and it all comes off as a clever marketing tactic. This is also one of the reasons why Five Guys prices are a bit higher than the standard fast casual restaurant. You're getting what you pay for, which, sure, includes fresh, premium products, but you're also paying for what you don't necessarily get. So next time you go to Five Guys, get all the toppings you want and then some, because you're already paying for them whether you want to or not. Is it true that Five Guys will never delve into the world of delivery? Kind of, sort of, well, maybe. When the Pentagon called to ask for a delivery, founder Jerry Morrell flat out refused, stating, "We don't deliver," even when an admiral personally called to press the matter. After all, who could be bothered to deliver 15 hamburgers to the Pentagon when you work at a restaurant where every hour is like a lunch rush? It was also an ethical stand to deny delivery. Morrell told QSR Magazine, "We think it cheapens the product." That being said, to quell the requests for burger deliveries and to help food delivery businesses operating during the era of COVID-19, Five Guys recently opened up their first ever ghost kitchen, reports Restaurant Dive. A ghost kitchen is a food prep location that's set up to only cater to takeout meals, with no storefront or seating. So the company's old stance may no longer apply, but perhaps it's for the better.
As far as fast food chains go, Five Guys might well be one of the best around. From the famous fries to mouth-watering burgers to those straight-up iconic shakes, Five Guys food is pretty tough to beat. And the company's reputation for big portion sizes doesn't exactly hurt either. Unsurprisingly, Five Guys' popularity has skyrocketed over the last few decades, with the chain today operating at least 1,700 outlets worldwide, with plans to open even more in the future. Of course, there is one classic fast food conundrum that you simply cannot overlook. And sure enough, even at Five Guys, healthy food isn't exactly forthcoming. For example, a little hamburger at the fast food chain contains 540 calories. And if you want fries, the smallest option comes in at 530 calories. So that's 1,070 calories total for the smallest combo you can get. Thinking of upgrading to a large fry? You're looking at 1,310 calories, even before you begin to think about your burger. Still, no single serving option at Five Guys is quite as unhealthy as the bacon cheeseburger. Of course, there's also no denying that it sounds delicious. Five Guys described the bacon cheeseburger as 2 hand-formed patties grilled to order, with 2 strips of crispy bacon and 2 slices of Kraft American cheese, all on a soft sesame seed bun. Not too shabby, right? But here's the problem. The cheeseburger has so many calories that you'll end up meeting half of your day's recommended intake in one sitting.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of any nutritious breakfast.
That's because the bacon cheeseburger at Five Guys has 1,060 calories, 40 grams of carbohydrates, 62 grams of fat, and 1,310 milligrams of sodium. For reference, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration recommends that both men and women consume around 2,000 calories a day. That sodium level isn't too encouraging either, as the FDA suggests you consume just 2,300 milligrams each day. But here's the worst part of all. On top of being bad for you, the bacon cheeseburger doesn't actually taste all that great. That's what some critics say, at least. For example, Time Out's review of the dish read, solid crunch, solid levels of I'm going to need a gallon of water later salt, solid amount of cheese holding it all together. But is it just me or does this taste a little sweet? I think it's the bread? Why is this happening?
I am going to throw up. Okay, I'm going to throw up. I'm throwing up. You're making me throw up.
A review posted by Esquire also noted that the burger can be messy and overwhelming, with too much going on to really enjoy what you're eating. Of course, the bacon cheeseburger will probably work just fine for many customers, but you might just find that the dish isn't as satisfying as it should be, especially for all those calories. Thankfully, there are other options at the restaurant that are better and healthier for you. It may be hard to believe, but it is possible to enjoy the food at Five Guys and stay on the right track health-wise. One of the best things that you can do at the restaurant is choose something that is smaller in size. Some of the easiest options worth considering include the little burger without a bun, the veggie sandwich, or the hot dog without the bun. Of course, it goes without saying that you'll have to stay away from temptation and not go over the top with your toppings. One employee at the restaurant took to Reddit to offer some more advice on staying healthy while dining at Five Guys. They wrote, "The healthiest thing you can order is a bunless veggie and bottled water. You can ask for grilled toppings like grilled pepper or jalapenos." They also pointed out that the default option is to grill the vegetables using the patties grill, but that you can request for your toppings to be prepared on the buns grill instead, an alternative that will help cut down on any excess fat. So with a little care with what you choose and the right method used in the kitchen, you can easily enjoy a delicious Five Guys meal with just a fraction of the calories. Sounds like a win-win, don't you think?
Did you know that Five Guys has animal-style burgers like In-N-Out? How about the fact that they won't cost you extra? Curious to learn more about the animal-style burgers at Five Guys? Keep watching. The modern fast food experience has been shaped largely by In-N-Out Burger's ingenuity. Animal-style burgers are just one of the many tasty innovations that came along the way. The chain dates its invention to 1961, 13 years after its flagship restaurant opened in Baldwin Park, California. But it was never an official item offered by the business. In fact, the sauce-laden sandwich emerged by accident, and the memorable anecdote of its making forever cemented its place in fast food history. The story goes like this. A group of teenagers roam into an In-N-Out, likely on a beautiful sunny California day. Having worked up an appetite from surfing or skating the afternoon away, the rowdy beach dwellers make a series of delicious, if messy, demands. What exactly do they ask for? Double cheeseburgers, but with a twist. Patties fried in mustard, extra pickles, and secret sauce drizzled all over. Despite feeling annoyed by the disorderly bunch who were given the nickname Animals, this didn't stop employees from honoring the requests.
They were animals. Exactly. They would always order burgers like that, so they named the burger Animal Style.
Before long, word of the savory concoction spread across Southern California. Author Stacy Perman, who wrote an entire book about the burger empire, acknowledged the origin story's possible embellishment to eater. Even so, it's a good tale that lays the foundation for In-N-Out's animal-style burger recipe and the resulting secret menu mania as we know it. Technically, you're not going to find animal-style burgers on Five Guys' menu. At least, the particular delicacy won't be spelled out for you. That's because it resides in that tricky limbo known as the secret menu, where hidden delights lurk on the fringes. Unofficial menu items have circulated online in spaces like Reddit for years, thanks to Five Guys employees and burger enthusiasts. Their collective brainpower has produced unthinkable possibilities for building a burger. Popular secret menu orders at Five Guys include a patty melt, nacho fries, and the presidential, based on Barack Obama's burger of choice. Thrillist tasked chef and Food Network personality Justin Warner with coming up with a set of menu hacks in 2015, and one of these winning ideas took the shape of an In-N-Out knockoff. In today's fast food landscape, secret menus can seem unrealistic at best and overwrought at worst. Yet Five Guys is one of the few places where they make sense. They already offer a customizable menu that allows customers to create whatever burger they want. The ingredients are simple, the toppings are free. Short of a few hidden add-ons, a burger will cost the same no matter how it's styled. We can't say for sure who kicked off the In-N-Out trend, but we do know the free-flowing options at Five Guys are ripe for inspiration and experimentation. Animal-style burgers were only a matter of time. Nothing silences hunger pangs more than a massive cheeseburger that fills the belly and loosens the belt buckle, and the Virginia-based chain guarantees a hefty sandwich every time. Five Guys' burger recipe features patties weighing an approximate 3.3 ounces, which might not seem like a lot at first, but the restaurant's standard cheeseburger features 2 of them, bringing the grand total to 6.6 ounces. Almost half a pound of beef is tucked between the bun, and that's before we even talk toppings. We know we're discussing Five Guys' animal-style burger and not In-N-Out's, but we would be remiss not to mention the stark size difference between them. For starters, In-N-Out's patties are just 2 ounces, giving a double-double only 4 ounces of meat. Even amid heaps of grilled onion and spread, they're still razor thin next to Five Guys. However, the price of a double-double burger combo is less than that of a Five Guys cheeseburger, and that's with a side of fries and a drink. As such, it doesn't approach the massive heft of a Five Guys animal-style burger. How generous they are with the toppings is up for debate, but as far as the beef goes, Five Guys sells a bigger burger. At Five Guys, your wish is the burger chain's command. Assuming you don't ask for something absurd like enough ketchup to fill up a kiddie pool, anything you crave will be accommodated, no questions asked. This also applies to cheese, and to build an animal-style burger at Five Guys that does the original justice, you're going to need an extra slice of it. The default cheeseburger, which we've established is equipped with 2 patties, is not festooned with double the American cheese like you'd expect. There's only 1 slice, and it's laid smack dab in the middle of the meat. This is fine, but it isn't animal-style, not by a long shot. A double-double from In-N-Out, on the other hand, features 2 slices between each patty, resulting in that melty, gooey interior a good cheeseburger calls for. When placing your order, ask the cashier for an extra slice to blanket your burger. Not only will the price stay the same, but you'll feel even closer to the yellow arrow. From McDonald's to Shake Shack, most burger joints in America douse their patties in some kind of secret sauce.
Hey, what's that goo? It's my sauce. I make it myself.
It's the glue that binds the whole thing together, that magic touch you never thought you needed until taking the first delectable bite. But Five Guys is a glaring exception. They don't offer a Thousand Island-esque spread for their burgers, instead keeping things simple with ketchup, mustard, relish, mayo, barbecue, A1 steak sauce, and hot sauce. That's it. Thankfully, Five Guys makes this easy, because all the ingredients you'd need are already on the menu. All you have to do is assemble them. In-N-Out is notoriously tight-lipped about the formula for its spread, which has spawned countless copycat recipes and fan theories speculating on its contents. Yet conventional wisdom usually points to ketchup, mayo, and relish. Five Guys offers all 3, so you can request them on the side when ordering your burger and stir them together. Then spread it on to your heart's content, and voila! Your very own animal-style burger a la Five Guys. You could even make it at home if the ingredients are already in your fridge, though we promise no one would give funny looks if you did it at the condiment station. As any In-N-Out lover knows, grilling the patties in mustard is the key component to making an animal-style burger. It leaves a tasty crust and infuses the meat with a briny, tangy essence that can't be matched by drizzling it on at the end. Just don't count on Five Guys to do it. In exploring Five Guys' secret menu, Thrillist recounted employees turning down requests to cook the burgers in a sizzling mustard bath when they attempted to recreate the sandwich at the restaurant. They will only go so far in your quest for achieving the authentic West Coast specialty, and it appears this is the line they draw at doing so. Bummer. From Five Guys' perspective, we can understand this. Mustard is quite pungent and messy. To slather it on a surface cooking other orders at the same time would likely trigger some complaints from customers, on top of creating added work for the fry cooks tasked with wiping down the grills. You could throw caution to the wind and ask anyway, just be prepared for them to say no. One of the benefits of ordering from Five Guys is the free toppings. No matter how wild you get with the customizations, a cheeseburger always rings up the same price. It's as if they plugged a burger hack straight into the menu, and it's available at our disposal all the time. As such, going animal style doesn't cost customers a penny extra and never will. That's because the building blocks that make up an animal style burger are all complimentary here. For starters, the lettuce, tomato, pickles, grilled onions, and condiments are free of charge, straight up. No hidden costs will creep up the total printed on your receipt. Then there's the cheese. You're getting one slice by default since a cheeseburger already comes with it. But is the second slice free? Normally we'd put it in the same category of exclusive extras like bacon and avocado, yet that isn't the case. Taste of Home revealed the gooey add-on is actually complimentary in this context. Since you're paying for the cheeseburger specifically and not a plain hamburger, doubling it won't tack on an additional charge. As long as the item itself features the ingredient, it counts as a freebie. Something to know the next time you feel like giving your usual cheeseburger some pizzazz.
Would you like a free sample?
The price is right.
Foodies likely gasped when In-N-Out was kicked off its Mighty Burger pedestal in favor of Five Guys, not just once, but twice in the Harris poll of favored burger brands. The feverish devotion inspired by the California institution is undeniable. Nevertheless, there's reason to suggest why Five Guys gives it a run for its money. Hear us out. Whether one chain is better is entirely up for debate, but if we're talking physical access to cheeseburgers, let alone animal-style ones, Five Guys has In-N-Out squarely beat. As of May 2022, In-N-Out operates only 378 restaurants in just 7 states. Unsurprisingly, most of them are in California. This exclusivity is part of its appeal, an insistence to stay true to the family business's roots. It's also why many of us can't get it in the first place. On the flip side, Five Guys has over 1,000 locations all over the country, as well as international expansion on its side, according to Washington Business Journal. So unless you live on the West Coast, experiencing an actual double-double would require either a road trip or an incredible friend willing to bring one back for you. At that point, it's easier to hit up Five Guys instead. They'll assemble a burger that not only hits the spot, but also boasts a striking resemblance to the real thing. Think of it as a loving tribute to a fast food icon.
Patty melts, sloppy joes, nacho fries, oh my. Five Guys has secret items you won't find on the menu, and Mashed wanted to know which one reigns supreme. The results may surprise you. Most people know and love Five Guys for their massive burgers, generous helpings of fries, and delicious shakes. But there are a lot of secret items that won't appear on the menu. Patty melts, double grilled cheeseburgers, even sloppy joes are up for grabs. The Mashed team conducted a survey to find out which secret menu items the people are most excited about, and the results are in. First, the low scorers. Not as many people were excited about Five Guys' Secret Sloppy Joe, with 10.98% of the vote, or the Patty Melt with 14.02%. It's not strict science, but we'd guess that it's because you can get these classic sandwiches at any old lunch spot, rather than chance ordering them off the secret menu at Five Guys. While the Five Guys Patty Melt is pretty much what you'd expect, a burger inside a Texas toast grilled cheese, it turns out their Sloppy Joe is anything but. Instead, it's a hamburger topped with grilled green peppers, grilled onions, ketchup, and barbecue sauce. It's none of that soupy ground beef you'd expect. The top choices, however, are a little more unexpected. The runner-up was a double grilled cheeseburger with 24.09% of the vote. This king of all sandwiches is a cheeseburger between 2 whole grilled cheeses. This thing is loaded and apparently very delicious. But the number one choice? Five Guys Nacho Fries, boasting 25.46% of the vote. As you're likely guessing, these are the chain's famous double-fried fries, served in a foil container topped with gooey nacho cheese and any other ingredients of your choice, such as sliced jalapenos or crumbled bacon. Sure, your arteries won't thank you, but your taste buds will. While people are most excited to try the nacho fries from Five Guys, it looks like they could be hard to come by at most locations. Apparently, just a few stores are willing to serve them up for cheese lovers. However, anyone lucky enough to try the nacho fries can typically get them for 50 cents extra, or sometimes for free. The secret? Just ask for melted cheese on top of your normal fries order. As explained on Reddit, you may want to ask for your fries well done, as this will create an extra crispy base layer for the cheese. Adding bacon, chopped tomato, or even Cajun seasoning doesn't hurt either, Redditors say. To try the double grilled cheeseburger from Five Guys, on the other hand, try ordering 2 grilled cheeses and asking for a burger patty in between the sandwiches. While pricing and availability will depend on location, the item will usually set you back about $3.49 for each grilled cheese and an extra $1.80 for each patty. As for the patty melt, that can be ordered by asking for a single grilled cheese sandwich with a burger patty and whatever ingredients you'd like in the middle. Other Five Guys secret menu items are more obscure, such as the jalapeno popper sandwich, a grilled cheese with jalapenos, extra cheese, and bacon. Anyone following a keto or other low-carb diet, meanwhile, may want to try ordering a burger bowl, which is a cooked patty with cheese and other toppings, all placed in a container and eaten with a fork. Feeling as hungry as a world leader? The presidential burger is allegedly what former United States President Barack Obama orders, and it's a normal cheeseburger with lettuce, mustard, jalapenos, and tomato. Other ravenous orderers can request the Artery Annihilator, which is, naturally, a cheeseburger containing both bacon and a sliced hot dog. Of course, not all locations will be able to make secret menu items, so come prepared with a backup order just in case.
Have you ever sunk your teeth into a Five Guys burger and thought, how could anything that tastes so good actually be bad for you? You certainly wouldn't be the only one, but maybe in the back of your mind, you do worry that you're biting off more than you should chew in terms of fat, sodium, sugar, and calories. Well, we have good news and bad news for all you Five Guys fans. Courtesy of Amy Shapiro, registered dietitian and founder of Real Nutrition, Shapiro told MASH that the good news is a burger from Five Guys is not the most unhealthy thing on the fast food chain's simple menu. She shared that the burger itself is the best thing on the menu, besides the lettuce and tomato. The badge for least healthy menu option? That would have to go to Five Guys hot dogs. Shapiro stated, the hot dog, on the other hand, has 28 grams of fat, 12 grams of saturated fat, and contains added ingredients like sodium nitrite, and even soy protein isolates. It contains 800 grams of sodium, and that is without the bun or any toppings. That is almost a third of an adult's daily recommended sodium intake, according to the FDA. But you're at Five Guys for the burgers anyway, right? So what's the bad news? Well, let's just say a burger from Five Guys is hardly a stick of celery. One reason why a Five Guys burger is so tasty compared to other fast food offerings is that it is pure, unadulterated beef, with no fillers involved. Shapiro said that the burger is made out of just 80-20 USDA ground beef. That is it. It comes in at about 300 calories and 17 grams of fat, all from the beef, no added sodium, etc. So if you wanted to cut your losses and just eat that burger plain, you won't be ingesting the calorie and sodium bomb that you'd be getting from the hot dog. The issue, Shapiro noted, is that basically no one eats a Five Guys burger plain. And it's those add-ons that make the burger so unhealthy. She noted that almost every topping from barbecue sauce to ketchup, relish, and the sautéed mushrooms contain high fructose corn syrup, which has been shown to increase the risk for obesity. The barbecue sauce in itself contains 10 grams of sugar per serving. That is greater than 2 teaspoons of sugar, yet many people would assume it's nothing. And let's not forget that many people like cheese on their burgers, which Shapiro said adds 8 grams of fat to your meal, 3.5 of which are saturated fat. She also mentioned, remember, saturated fat is the type of fat that clogs our arteries and increases cholesterol, and the bun adds a heap of calories as well, approximately 240 by Shapiro's estimation.
I couldn't eat another bite. Well, maybe one more bite.
But what if you are just really craving a Five Guys burger? Amy Shapiro, of course, won't stand in your way, but she did offer some suggestions for keeping the calorie count under control. Let's start with those high-sugar toppings. To keep things healthy-ish, Shapiro recommends you ditch the sautéed mushrooms and stick to straight-up veggies like onion, lettuce, and tomato. Add mustard if you want, but the other toppings can get a bit ugly. She advised that you'll want to steer clear of the mayo in particular, as well as the sugary barbecue sauce. You probably also want to avoid the relish, which contains artificial colors. Another key move, not eating the whole bun. According to Shapiro, you can still get the mouthfeel and satisfaction of having a burger, but with fewer calories if you eat it with only half of the bun. She said that, for the healthiest burger, I recommend an open-faced burger patty topped with mustard, lettuce, tomato, onion. This should bring you in under 500 calories, with a nice dose of protein, iron, and fiber from the veggies.
When Five Guys opened its stores in 1986, you wouldn't spend more than $2 for a burger, but you wouldn't get it delivered either, no matter how high your military rank was. When Five Guys opened its first store in Arlington, Virginia, it was almost as if it didn't want people to notice. Not only did it not advertise, but its launch was also quieter than the sizzling of a burger. The store was in a corner of the rundown Westmont shopping center. Turns out, it was the only place that would lease space to them. As founder, Jerry Morrell told Arlington Now, "We were brand new, without any restaurant experience, selling burgers and fries." But Morrell also wanted a less conspicuous place. He said, "We liked that it was tucked back and hard to get to. We knew that if we could survive and grow there, then we might really have something. And because it was in the middle of nowhere, it was relatively inexpensive." The first store was a roaring hit, but today there's no way to visit it. In 2019, Westmont Shopping Center was demolished to be redeveloped into an apartment building. At Five Guys, the decor is so basic that the only things that probably stand out for customers are the sacks of potatoes laid out on the floors, and the staff crafting burgers in the chain's open kitchens. The first store, Jerry Morrell told NPR, didn't even have chairs and tables for customers to sit and eat. It was a cramped stand-up only place. He had bought the place for a mere $35,000 and assembled all the equipment from junk. To compare, close to $150,000 was raised to set up the second store, Morrell told NPR. The second store also had no seating. It wasn't until the early 2000s that the chain decided to allow people to dine in. The first Five Guys store sold 2 items: burgers and fries. Why? Those were the only 2 things that Jerry Morrell knew how to cook, as he told NPR. But it wasn't just his limited culinary skills that pushed him to create the minimalist eatery. He was intrigued by how Thrasher's French fries attracted a beeline of customers when there were about 20 or so other shops selling fries on the Ocean City boardwalk. He was also inspired by an entrepreneur in his hometown in Michigan who ran a successful business selling nothing but hamburgers. Thrasher's and the Michigan hamburger seller gave Morrell the idea to start a business concept that would combine burgers and fries. And since Thrasher's was the gold standard for fries, Morrell decided to copy it. He and his sons went to Ocean City to take a peek at the potato bags in the store and noticed that the spuds had come from Rigby, Idaho. So Morrell contracted with a potato dealer in Rigby to deliver the same type of potatoes that Thrasher's used. Jerry's son Chad told Food Republic that in the early years they would soak the hand-cut potatoes for almost 2 hours to get the starch out before frying them. Now it's a 3-minute power wash. Finding it hard to put a finger on what exactly it is that has you going back for another Five Guys burger? There is a good chance it's the soft cake-like buns. While today the chain makes its own buns, it originally bought them from Brenner's Bakery, a popular bakery in Northern Virginia at the time. Jerry Morrell told Arlington Now that he and his wife Janie had been Brenner's customers for a long time, and said, "They baked what we considered to be the best bread, which was high quality and expensive. If you find Five Guys buns slightly on the sweeter side, it's probably because Brenner's made them that way." The Five Guys, and especially Janie, loved it. So when the bakery, which had been operating since 1946, closed in 2004, Jerry did what he had to do to maintain the quality of Five Guys burgers. He hired 2 of the bakers who worked at Brenner's and started making the rolls in-house. You couldn't have escaped the wait at Five Guys even if you showed up at the very first location on the very first day. Well, not entirely. If you had gone there the first half hour it opened, you could have simply sashayed your way to the counter to customize your burger. As Jerry Morrell told Arlington Now, "We opened at 11 a.m., and no one came in until 11:30. That was a stressful half hour. But unless you were the first person in, you would have had to go through the grueling wait." Morrell told NPR, "By 12:30 we were almost packed. I made money from the very first day." If you were to stop by Five Guys as frequently as Warren Buffett goes to McDonald's, you would have a pretty slim wallet. A hamburger from Five Guys today is $6.99, while you'd only have to spend $1.99 for a McDonald's hamburger. Funny enough, the price of a McDonald's hamburger today is around the same as that of a Five Guys hamburger in 1986. $1.79. That was pretty expensive for a burger at the time. While there are many reasons for the price difference, a significant one is that Five Guys only uses fresh ingredients. No frozen products whatsoever, not even the beef. McDonald's has no such rules. Its burgers, with the exception of the Quarter Pounder, are all made with frozen patties. Five Guys never had a money-saving mindset. Jerry Morrell told the Washington Business Journal, "We never worried about the cost of supplies. I told my sons, don't ever save money on the food." The expensive ingredients added up to a burger that cost 4 times as much as McDonald's, Morrell told NPR. Five Guys knew that it was pricey, but it stood by its high menu prices. Morrell told NPR that the kids were given free rein to choose the toppings that went into a Five Guys burger. This meant that if they wanted the most expensive pickles in the supermarket to jazz up their burgers, that's what every customer also got, even if that meant higher menu prices. He said, "Jeannie and I would not tell the kids how much we were paying for the product." If you had visited the first Five Guys store, there's a good chance you would have seen Jerry Morrell and his first 4 sons working in the store. After all, there were only 2 workers who were non-family at the time. Today, Five Guys employs about 5,000 to 10,000 employees across its 1,500 locations. At the first store, Morrell's wife Janie kept the books, and he and the kids took care of everything else from cooking to cleaning. Morrell told NPR it was the kids who approached the investors and came up with the menu items, saying, "If it wasn't for them and my wife, there would be no Five Guys. I didn't build Five Guys." Luckily for Morrell, all 5 boys decided that they would rather join the family business than go to college. Morrell was okay either way, as long as they had fun. The sage advice he gave his kids? Pick something you like to do in the business. A midweek slump is enough for some of us to order a juicy bacon cheeseburger and fries without a second thought. And with the magic of delivery apps or Five Guys' own delivery service, you'll be noshing on your grub just a few minutes after you wished for it. Things were a lot different at Five Guys in the 80s. The first store did not offer delivery, even if the request came in from the Pentagon. As founder Jerry Morrell recalled to Inc., "When we first opened, the Pentagon called and said, 'We want 15 hamburgers. What time can you deliver?' I said, 'What time can you pick them up?' We don't deliver." After that, just to make it clear to everyone, including the Pentagon, the store hung a 22-foot-long banner with the words "Absolutely no delivery" on the storefront. Ironically, ever since, said Morrell, our business from the Pentagon picked up. Few knew the satisfaction of washing down a Five Guys burger with a milkshake when the first store opened. Why? Because the milkshakes and their 10 mix-ins were introduced as recently as 2014, about 28 years after the first store opened. Today, the restaurant offers hand-spun super thick milkshakes with the option to add mix-ins in 40,000 plus combinations. But in the first year of Five Guys, the milkshake was nowhere close to becoming part of the menu. Jerry Morrell did not like the idea of having anything frozen in the restaurant. In fact, he told Inc. in a 2010 interview, "If we put one frozen thing in our restaurant, we'd be done. That's why we won't do milkshakes. For years, people have been asking for them, but we'd have to do real ice cream and real milk." Yet another reason why he didn't want to expand Five Guys' menu to include milkshakes was that if he did, he told Forbes, it might lead the chain to stray away from its main focus, burgers and fries. Reflecting on the decline in franchises like Boston Market, he noted, "They all started to offer too many items and got away from their core."